What's up, fam? Elijah Shine here, and welcome back to another episode of EXTOL WE. And this week, Jamin, Bowden, Sam, Daniel are my extras, and I am the ordinary. Fam, it's been so amazing to get to see my little boy Bowden merging into his pedal bike. The guy rides like a modern day Jehu on his bike. He just pedals like a maniac. He's doing these little tricks and pull a hand off, where back and forth, wrecks, just shakes off his hands, jumps back on, and just keeps riding. I mean, he's a wild man. It's been so beautiful being able to get shots of him to remember once he gets older, treasure those memories in my heart, but then also to celebrate him on a world stage, to say, this is my son whom I love. I'm so pleased with him in what he's accomplishing. But as I was pressing into that and celebrating him, I realized that I was overlooking the exploits of my little son, Jamin, that he's been a little bit more reticent jumping on the Strider bike, but he's had helmet in place on his little scooter, and he just rages that thing, just like jerking it around, sliding like, just getting after it. It's so incredibly cute, but I've been helping to move him over to the Strider bike, and he's a little scared of it. It's just kind of a little wiggly and bouncy, and so he's not just been going after that as aggressively, but as I spent time with him, I tell him, I slide him back and get his butt on the seat. I said, get your butt in the saddle, buddy. Keep your hands on those handlebars, like ring your bell, let people know that you're coming. I mean, you're going fast, man. Let them know. Stay out of the way, Bowden. And he started saying, watch out, Bowden, I'm coming in hot. Like, it's so much fun. Now, out of that, Bowden has just switched over to his pedal bike. And so he's a lot of satisfaction and accomplishment in doing that. So as Jamin says, watch out, Bowden, I'm coming in hot. He says, no, you're not. You're going so slow. It's ridiculous. Dad jumps on that. Correct in that, absolutely. I'm saying, no, Bowden, that's not true. We're gonna encourage Jamin. Jamin is going as fast as he possibly can. He's max speed 11, and he ain't kidding. He's ringing that bell. He's coming in hot. Look out, clear a path, because this guy's crazy. It's been so incredible seeing how, as we gather around him, we cheer him on, we pour on that encouragement, that he's embodying it in how he's engaging. He's gaining more confidence quicker and quicker on the Strider bike than everybody before him in our family. Now, as I've been engaging that, then I whipped out the camera. I said, man, I'm giving you an epic video. I'm gonna highlight your courage moving forward, and that you're going after this, man. Like, we're cheering for you, and you need to be celebrated on a world stage too. Look at my son whom I love. With him, I'm well pleased. As I began to contemplate these things, the videos that dropped this last week on Extraordinary Life with Elijah were faithfulness for others and gifts intention. As I watched those, I began to contemplate them in my own life, my little prophetic Jamin, that I saw myself as Jamin, that I'm moving forward in the grace that God has given me. I have this Strider bike that I'm trying to get my balance on. I'm picking up my feet, getting my butt in the saddle, making my videos, and the camera is just hovering around my life, just highlighting, this is what Elijah's doing. This is the grace that God's put on my life, and my Father is so pleased in what I'm doing, that he's capturing everything that I'm doing, and he's highlighting it on a world stage saying, this is my son whom I love. With him, I'm well pleased. That as I then went to that place of childlike faith, that then God began to speak to me about these varying vehicles of faith and how they bless our lives. Today, while I was out biking with my kids, that I was like, man, you guys are riding like wild people. I keep telling you, do not go past this point. You're gonna ride out into this turn, and there's cars that go by there. And I'm gonna keep the blood in your body like on the inside, blood on the outside of your body, not good. And so I jumped on Facebook Marketplace, found one of those little child signs that says stop child at play, and then one is for people coming into the end of our street, kids at play, but also that my kids know now you cannot go past the little man with the flag. So dual purpose. But I jumped on Facebook Marketplace, found somebody that had one for sale, and having a car makes it so much easier to run the race marked out for us. I was able to get to all of my appointments, go down all the side streets immediately, and was able to efficiently accomplish all the good works that I had to do. I had a key box to return to someone that I do business with, and so I zipped over there, went to the bank, got all of my tasks done, boom, very efficiently. And this is like our life of faith before God, that each one of us are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works that God prepared in advance for us to do, that God has made us intentionally, on purpose, with a purpose. And good works tied to identity means that you have a destiny. That means each one of us has grace on our lives to please our Father's heart in the exercise of the good gifts and grace that He's given us to impart grace to others for you to know the Father more. So each one of us has a faith and a journey before God that we are running with perseverance. That's our vehicle. But then within that, He then starts speaking to me about other forms of transportation like buses and trains, that there's massive amounts of conversations and planning and strategic development that goes on before a bus line is launched or before the tracks of a train are laid, that engineers get involved, investors, people who talk about what are the best routes, and they set out all of that infrastructure in place and then spend massive amounts of money to then buy the vehicles and infrastructure to make those routes possible. And here in Bozeman, it's so beautiful. And we have the Streamline. It's a bus line that travels numerous routes throughout all the city that have time stops. And you can jump on the bus, ride it, pull the handle, and get off for free. It's an amazing service to our town with so many college students that are in it, people who need transportation, who might need help with that they can't afford to have their own car. It's an amazing service. But as you ride a bus, it's such a different experience than driving your own car, that you wait in a specific time and place, and the bus comes, the doors open, you get onto the bus, you sit in your seat, and you don't have to worry about a thing. You're not worrying about traffic, watching out for other things, how fast the bus is going, what route it's taking. You can just sit there. You can read a book. You can work on things, look out the window, take a nap, and the bus is going to get you to where you're going. And then as you get there, then you just pull the string and you get off and continue on your pathway of life as the vehicle that carried you and a bunch of other people moves on. Now, the beauty of that is that then within Hebrews 11, that it talks about the great hall of faith, all of the people who are commended for their faith before God, and that many of them died while not having received what was promised to them, but that it says that only together with us would they be made perfect. And it's so incredibly beautiful that Noah, such a prime example, that he found grace and favor in the eyes of the Lord, and that as a result of his faithful obedience before God in building the ark, that all of mankind was saved because of one man's faith. Now, as I engaged the bus, and it was so beautiful to have this visceral experience of how, as I rode the bus, I had so many conversations with people who were sitting around me, like, well, what are you filming, man? Like, what are you up to? And I learned about people's lives. I chatted with them, how their days were. There was this sense of community connection on the bus. And so while I didn't have as much freedom to do what I wanted to do, which street I was going to take, and I was the one on the steering wheel and the accelerator and the brake driving this thing forward, I had way more relational connection on the bus than I did in my car. I was way more efficient in accomplishing tasks, but I was way more efficient in connection with people and building community by sitting with people on this massive structure that was moving forward to carry me to my future destination. That's where the contemplation of my friend Sam then was so sweet this last week. Sam, as we made our video so long ago, Gifts Intention together, it was such a beautiful moment to sit there and talk with you about what God had in your life by way of faith, knowing that I had just made a video previous to ours that was being posted 3.5 years to the future. As I sat there and I recorded my video, Faithfulness for Others, that my chair that was empty, that kept being featured throughout the video, was done so on purpose because the faith and the grace of your life that was encouraging me forward in that season of my life was sitting there with me. That though the chair was empty, the grace that was being imparted to me through your faithfulness, your risk, you stepping out to pursue God's calling on your life with courage and tenacity was ministering to me to do what God had called me to do. And family, that is it. That as each one of us pursues the grace on our life that God has given us to express. We're expressing max effort in the grace given to us to please his heart, to impart grace to others so that they can know him more, that it combines into this massive structure that others get to jump on, that they're being moved forward at an appointed time and place, that just shows up, picks them up and carries them forward, and they don't even know that they're being carried forward by the momentum of faith that has come behind them. That's where I'm so grateful and thankful for my friend Daniel. That God has brought Daniel into my life at such a beautiful time and a season, and that together he and I are pursuing the heart of God in the things that God has given us to do with such vulnerability and transparency before him, holding nothing back, going all in to seek to please our Father's heart with the gifts that God has given us to then grow in grace and favor with God and with man, to impart favor and grace to others so that they can know the Father more. And as we do these things, as we talk about vision and dreams together, that we look forward in time and we say, we pray to God that we can taste as much of the goodness of these dreams in this life as we can before we go into glory, but that we know that the things that we are pursuing by faith will most likely not be experienced by us, by our children, by our children's children, or our children's children's children, but that it's going to move on to the 6th, 7th generation before the stuff that we're so passionately pursuing right now will be manifest in the earth. Fam, my encouragement to you then is, wherever you're at within this spectrum, that you've moved from your Strider bike to a pedal bike to maybe even a motorcycle that has a massive engine on it, and you're gripping and ripping like my friend Mike. He looks backwards, sees me on my pedal bike, and it's like, good work there, pal. If you're in that space, you're moved on to 600cc motorbike and you're just gripping and ripping and climbing up mountains, go all in. Go as hard as you possibly can. Rage that race laid out before you with perseverance to win the prize. But that as you look backwards, keep your eyes on those behind you with the eyes of the Father to say, go, man. I see you, Elijah. I see you on your Strider bike, ringing your bell, saying, I'm coming in hot, guys. I'm coming in hot. Clear the way. Watch out. I'm being dangerous. And that you would cheer the people behind you on to say, keep going. Get your butt in the saddle, big man. Keep those feet going. And to know that as you do, that you're inspiring those on behind you to press into their journey harder, faster, and with more effectiveness. And if that's you, if you're in a space where you're stepping out in faith with God to be obedient in the things that he's called you to, and that they're threatening to you, that you're having a hard time letting go of your little scooter and getting onto things that feel so unbalanced, and that you're just standing, holding onto the bars, not even with your butt in the saddle, but you're just walking with a bike between your legs, that if you're in that space, know that you have a Father who's there with you, saying, get your butt in the saddle, little buddy. Oh man, you're doing so good. Oh, ring that bell, man. You're being dangerous. And that you have the favor and the face of a Father's love resting upon you, circling your life forwards and backwards, with his eyes of love beholding you, capturing every moment and movement of your courageous obedience of love before him, storing it up in treasured memories in his heart to ponder for years to come, so in love with you, so proud of you, a heart of love that just revels in your childlike courageousness, fire of passion is being expressed through your faith's forward movement. My encouragement is that you wouldn't hold anything back. You'd run the race set out for you to win the prize. Because through your individual expression of faith's fullness and the consistent action of faith over time, that you're building together with the body of Christ massive structures in the future that will, at the appointed time, pull up to people of destiny, and that the doors will open and they will enter into it to be carried on to the next juncture, the next place of their good works and their journey that will bless and grace their lives in ways that they're not even aware of. As you go through life, my friends, my encouragement to you likewise would be to become aware of the structures that you're in that are promoting your success. Look for the graces of the faith of people behind you that have imparted blessing in ministries, in structures, in accelerated impartation that's helping move you forward into your destiny in ways that are impossible for you in the midst of community. As you find those spaces, those graces, those places, those races, and those people, take the intentional time and effort to reach out to them to say, thank you so much for driving this bus to my next location. I so appreciate you. I see you. I'm thankful for you. Thank you for serving all of us to move us forward into our next destination. If you subscribe to what I am doing, then hit the button, hit it and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you loved this video, you didn't just like it, hit that thumbs down button. I pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.